So first, I would like to thank the organizers for this very nice week. And I'm going to present your work in collaboration with Bertrand Chloé, so about the quasi-stationary behavior of the Crump-Yung model, which is a model of bioreactor. So I don't know if everybody is familiar with the quasi-stationary distributions, but I remind that it corresponds to stationary distributions of the process conditionally to the non-extinction. So the process that we will study goes to extinction almost surely. So for example, here it is already the case for the 3 simulations in red. But before the extinction, we observe a kind of stationary behavior, and it is what we want to study. And so first, I will present you the Crump-Yung model. Then I will give some previous results about its quasi-stationary behavior, and I will explain how the recent works of Champagnat-Villemonet and of Bancé, Chloé, Gabriel, and Marguet allow to obtain stronger results. And I will try to explain the main difficulties that we had with our process, which is an hybrid process with a deterministic component. So the Crump-Yung model is a model of chemostat. I remind that a chemostat is a bioreactor with an input and an output flows, where both flows are the same, such that the volume is constant. And in the bioreactor, there are microorganisms, like bacteria, which consume the substrate in order to reproduce. And then the Crump-Yung model is a 2-dimensional process, xt, st, where x is the number of bacteria and s is the substrate concentration at time t. And in this process, in this model, the process x is a pure jump process submitted to 2 mechanisms. So first to bacterial division at a rate which depends on the substrate concentration, and second to bacterial washout due to the outflow of the bioreactor at a constant rate d, where d is the dilution rate of the chemostat. So you can interpret this model as a birth and death process. And between the jumps of the process X, the substrate concentration evolves continuously through this ordinary differential equation, where this term represents the input of substrate with a constant concentration S in, and the output due to the output flow. And this term represents the substrate consumption by bacteria. So the randomness in this model only comes from the bacterial population dynamics. So the substrate concentration evolves in a deterministic way with respect to the bacterial population. And this process is a Cadlag Markov process with this infinitesimal generator, where here we can read the substrate dynamics, and here we can read both jump mechanisms. So this process was already been studied in the literature, in particular by Collet, Martinez, Méliard, and San-Martin. So first, it is already known that this process goes to extinction almost early under good assumptions. And moreover, these authors already prove the existence of quasi-stationary distribution, as well as some properties about this or these QSD, like existence of density with respect to the Lebesgue measure in some components, for example. And in more recent works, I have studied with Fabien Campillo and Bertrand Chloé the asymptotic behavior in large population size of some chemostat models, including the Crump-Yung model. And in particular, we can approximate the Crump-Yung model by continuous stochastic differential equation when the population is relatively large. And it allows to have some approximation of the quasi-stationary distribution of the Crump-Yung model. So in particular, we obtain one particular approximation whose the stationary distribution is explicit and represented in red in this graph. And the quasi-stationary distribution of the Crump-Yung model is represented in blue. And we see that if the population is not too small, we have a good approximation estimation of the quasi-stationary distribution of the Crumping model by the stationary distribution of the continuous SD, but not in small population size. So numerically, we observe the convergence of the process towards the quasi-stationary distribution, which seems to be unique. However, until now, up to our knowledge, nothing was done mathematically about the uniqueness of the QSD, neither about the convergence of the process, and it is what we aim to do in this work. So just before to give such results, I just want to make some remarks about the dynamics of the process. So we can define the flow associated to the substrate equation when the bacterial population is constant and equals to x. So it is relatively easy to show that this flow converges towards its unique equilibrium S bar x, which is the unique solution to this equation. So if I start the process with X bacteria, the substrate concentration follows the flow with X individuals. When the process jumps, the substrate concentration changes its flow, and so on. So first remark is that the sequence S bar X is strictly decreasing. So the larger the number of individuals is in the chemostat, the smallest the equilibrium of the flow will be. Moreover, we can notice that the points X, S bar X are not reachable for the process. So the only way to reach this point is if the process X jumps to small x exactly when the substrate concentration crosses the value S bar X, which is a neglectable event. So almost surely these points are not reachable. Moreover, as it was already been noticed by Collet, Martinez, Méliard, and San Martin, the set S0 is an invariant set for the process, so the substrate concentration cannot reach values higher than S except if we start above S. And in the same way, the set N star 0 S bar 1 is an invariant set until the extinction time. So as long as there are bacteria in the chemostat, we cannot reach values higher than S bar 1. And so we expect that the support of the quasi-stationary distribution is included in this set. And in fact, so here it is the main theorem of my talk. We have the existence, the uniqueness of a quasi-stationary distribution which integrates W, where W is a Lyapunov function, where the support of the QSD is on this invariant set for the non-extinct process. And moreover, for initial distribution in this invariant set, we have this inequality in time, which gives the exponential convergence of the process towards the QSD. So a remark here, the existence and uniqueness of the QSD seems to be indexed by both parameters ρ and p, which defines the Lyapunov function W. However, if I change these parameters by uniqueness of the limit, I will obtain the same QSD. So here, the theorem, so if I forget a bit the constraints on the substrate components, the theorem wrongly states that there exists a unique QSD which admits at least one exponential moment due to the form of the Lyapunov function. And moreover, this QSD will admit all its exponential moments. So from this theorem, we can deduce several properties about the form of the QSD. So the QSD is not explicit, but we can deduce several properties by changing the constant here. So this theorem is a consequence of recent works of Champagna, Villemonnet, and of Bancé, Chloé, Gabriel, and Marget, where the first work gives the first bond here, where psi is this simple second Lyapunov function, and the second work gives the second bond where H is an eigenfunction. So both works state similar results and state exactly the existence, the uniqueness of the QSD as well as the exponential convergence. And under similar assumptions. And here the main work is to prove that our process satisfies the assumptions of these both works. So rather than present the exact assumptions of Champagnat, Vimonet, and Banset et al., I present here the assumptions, conditions that we want to check for our process. And I will try to explain a bit what are these conditions. So Ignacio presented this condition a bit on Tuesday, but I will try to explain in more detail. And I will try to explain the difficulties that we have with our process. So we want to prove that there exists a time t0 and a compact set K such that these three conditions hold. So the first one is a general global Lyapunov criterion. And it's based on bonds on the semigroup applied to both Lyapunov functions. So these criterion are proved by standard methods using the generator of the process, and I will not detail so much this part because the proof is relatively classical, and I will try to detail a bit more the two other conditions. So the second one is a small set assertion and states that there exists a probability measure nu which are to lower bound the law of the process at time t0 by this probability measure up to a constant. So globally, so roughly this condition is a kind of doubling condition, and together with the global Lyapunov criterion, will give the convergence of the process. And in particular, we can see that this condition implies aperiodicity properties, because if I start with an initial condition in my compact set K, I can be in anywhere in the support of the measure nu. So if I start two processes with two different initial conditions at time t0, both processes can be in the same locations, and then it implies aperiodicity property. The third condition is the mass ratio inequality, and Rogli states that if I change the initial condition of the process, it will not change so much the extension time. And Rogli, it will give the unicity of the quasi-stationary distribution. And so the two conditions, so the small set assertion and the mass ratio inequality, are proved by kind of irreducibility properties, strong bonds on the probability of some probability about the heating times of the process, and I will try to explain a bit more that. So the mass ratio inequality, which corresponds to this kind of uniform bond, but for all time t, if t is bounded, is not a problem because we just use the bonds on the Lyapunov function that we obtain for the global Lyapunov criterion, which gives lower bound and upper bound on the semigroup applied to the Lyapunov function psi with bonds. Well, both bonds depend on the time, but if the time is bounded, it is easy to obtain this uniform bond. For larger time, classically, what we do, so we want to compare both expectation where we change the initial condition. So we want to compare processes started from XS and YR. So as Ignacio did on Tuesday, we only look some passes, and here we will look passes starting from xs, which reach the target point yr before the fixed time. And then we lower bound this expectation by the same expectation, but for passes which reach the target point yr. And then using the Markov property as well as the bounds on the Lyapunov function, the semi-group applied to Lyapunov function in order to change the time here, we obtain this inequality. And then the goal, classically, the goal is to obtain uniform lower bound on this kind of probabilities. However, I remind that for our process, the points ys bar y are not reachable. And moreover, the points close to ys bar y are reachable with very small probabilities, and the probabilities will converge towards 0 when the point will converge towards a non-reachable point. So we cannot expect to obtain such uniform bounds for initial condition on our compact set. Okay, so but we expect to obtain such uniform bounds for target points sufficiently far from the non-reachable point. And for other points, what do? We condition on the first jump. Either there is no jump before the time t, and then the process, the state of the process is deterministic at time t, and then we can control this expectation. Or there is a jump, and when the process jumps, it jumps far from the non-reachable point. And then if delta here is well chosen, we can apply the previous bounds that we prove. And then the mass ratio inequality is mainly based on this kind of uniform lower bound. So it's our main goal to prove the mass ratio inequality. For the small set assertion, so I remind that it corresponds to the existence of the probability measure nu, which allow to control the law of the process at time t0. So here we will consider the passes which reach this set at an intermediate time t0 minus t. When we do that, so at time t0 minus t, we start from this set and we let run the process during a time t. When we do that, we can obtain this small set assertion, but for initial condition not in the compact K, in the compact set K, but in this intermediate set. So why it is easier to obtain the small set assertion on this set? So for that, what we do, we consider the path which submits a unique event during the interval time 0t, and we consider that this event is a death. So it's not really a death, it is a washout event, but we can interpret that as a death. So when we do that, so the death event allows to catch sufficiently randomness in the substrate component to construct the measure nu. If I consider that there is no event, if I start with two different initial conditions, I cannot expect that my both processes are in the same location at time t0. So I need at least one random event. And the fact that I consider that there is no more event and that the process X starts from 2 allows to have a good control on the substrate dynamics. And it is, for this reason, we can construct the probability measure. So we have the existence of nu by construction of nu. And then from this inequality, we use the Markov property, and as this bond is uniform, the small set assertion is mainly based on the obtention of such uniform bond. So we want to uniformly bound the probability to that the process at time t0 minus t is in this set for all initial condition in K, where t0 minus t can be small. So as I will explain in a few seconds, it will be possible to obtain such a uniform bond because S0 here can be chosen to be smaller than the smallest value in the substrate component on the compact set K. I will explain in the next slide. So to summarize, the proof of the theorem is mainly based on this kind of irreducibility properties. And in general, it is easier to obtain irreducibility properties for pure jump processes or for diffusion processes, and here the difficulties is due to the deterministic substrate component, which can be slow in some duration. So how do we prove that? We will consider particular passes of the process. And for the first property, we will consider passes which, so first, reach a set S, which is not so far from the target point YR. Stay in this set, which is represented in red here, and then reach the target point YR. So here we even obtain stronger results because we can uniformly lower bound the probability that the heating time is between tau minus epsilon and tau, so we can then get more properties than this one. And we can obtain uniform lower bound for each step with a sharp studies, with sharp estimates on the dynamics on the process, and with a sharp control on the Poisson processes associated to the jumps of the process X, as well as on the flow associated to the substrate dynamics. And here, as this bond has to hold for all initial conditions in the compact set K, we cannot expect to obtain such bonds for small tau. Tau has to be sufficiently large in order that the process has the time to go from small value to large value. So tau has to be sufficiently large, and it depends on the size of the compact set K. For other the second property here, so I remind that we want this property for even for small t. So we will use the same ideas for the proof. So we have different steps. But here, as S0 is smaller than this minimum, either S is in the good set here, or we have to decrease the substrate concentration. And even if it means that we force the bacterial process to reach very high value that we can do in small time, we can decrease the substrate concentration as fast as we want. We cannot increase it as fast as we want, but we can decrease it as fast as we want. And it is the main argument which allowed to prove the small set assertion with this in this way. So to conclude, the main difficulty is due to the deterministic part of our process, which produce non-reachable points with a deterministic component which can be slow in some direction. But why does it work well? It is because the process first don't stay close to the non-reachable zone, and for other zones we can prove some uniform irreducibility properties for our process. And starting from different initial conditions, the process can be in the same location at any positive time t. So we don't need that we can go from everywhere to everywhere as fast as we want, but we want that from everywhere we can be in the same location at any small time t. So the process states the convergence for initial condition in the invariant set for the non-extinct process. However, as this set is attractive for our process, we can extend the results for, so in particular for substrate concentration in R+ and not restrictive to this set. So here we lose the speed of convergence, but we still have the convergence of our process to the quasi-stationary distribution. And finally, so our contribution is about the uniqueness of the QSD as well as about the convergence of the process. But of course, our QSD satisfies the property established in previous works. Okay, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Is there any questions?
Thank you very much for the very nice presentation and the very, very impressive result. If you go back to the initial model, and if you consider time scales, I expect that the jump from plus minus 1 in the bacteria population are very often. Would it be possible to make a diffusive approximation? And if yes, would it change the results and possibly the methodology?
Sorry, what do you want to change in the model?
To expand the fx plus 1 fx, supposedly x might be very large if you are in chemostat, so you can expand Taylor expand and you get the generator of diffusion equation x with a drift due to the bacterial to the growth of the population. And
je vais peut-être te demander de le répéter en français.
Il n'y a aucun souci. Si x est très grand, x plus 1 c'est très proche de x, donc on s'attend à pouvoir dire que le processus sur x il ressemble à une diffusion.
Ah oui. Yes, so you consider large population approximations. So globally, it implies that we consider chemostat with a large volume. Yes, so probably that irreducibility properties will be easier to obtain. We didn't try to do that, but of course, as we obtain a convergence toward the quasi-stationary distribution, as the diffusion process will be an approximation of of this model, I'm sure that it will be possible to obtain the unicity, the uniqueness of the stationary distribution or quasi-stationary distribution as well as the convergence. And I think it will be easier.
I'm just wondering if you can find some information on the rate of convergence omega.
It's a very good question. So if we use the theorem of Champagnat-Vilmonet and Borset et al. As a black box, we cannot obtain bonds on this rate of convergence, but I think we can. I'm not sure. I have to read in a bit more detail the proof of both works, but I think we can have some estimates.
Just to complete, maybe you expect it to be the spectral gap, right? It is sort of a Perron-Frobenius theorem. This and so I don't know how easy it is to prove it, but you expect omega to be the difference between the two main eigenvalues, right? Or
I don't know. I have to. Maybe it will be better to ask to Tout Nicolas Denis en ensemble.